Hi, I'm Natasha Fagali, and you're watching Girl Talk Kuwait, where questions become answers. Recently, I received 3 questions. So the first question I received was, do you see a gender role change in the traditional job market for women and men, and have you noticed this? Myself, I have noticed a large change, especially in the beauty and fashion industry, where we are seeing more and more males enter those roles. I've also seen a change in the professional business world, where we see more and more women taking on leading roles with multinational companies. Now, I don't believe that this has been a large change from the industrial to the technological age, such as the 21st century. However, I think that we are seeing it more and more in the media. It's coming to fruition more and more than it did in the past. However, do I feel that both of these job markets and all job markets across the globe, have they always had females in these roles and in dominant and senior positions? Yes. I just think that now it's more and more prevalent, and we're seeing it more and more because there's been a shift in the dynamics, and there has been much more job and gender equality. So my first guest today is Ms. Darlene Haddad, a psychologist and emotional intelligence specialist. My question to you, Darlene, is do you feel that being a strong, successful female emasculates and intimidates men?
Well, thank you, Natasha, for the question. I think it's a very interesting question and a very applicable one for today's society. I do believe there are a couple ways to answer that question. It could be based on religion, culture, and country. Depends on the situation you're in, but I'll try to answer it in a general way. I do believe that society has changed a lot, and the traditional women's roles, which were the stay-at-home mother, the one that looked after the family, has changed a lot over the years with women's liberation and women's rights. And so women now have become obviously stronger, independent, and can do exactly what a man can do, and even more. Whether it's a threat to men in general, I believe also the roles and ideas of men have also changed. So they've come to accept this as well, that women do exactly what men can do. Part of that, I think, is an attractive quality in a woman, and men do find that attractive. I don't think that it deters them from being intimidated by the women. What I do think is that men still have the underlying idea that they're providers and that they would like to provide. I believe that the only time it would intimidate a man is when it comes into the relationship and it causes issues, such as the woman wanting to dominate the relationship, the woman wanting to be the boss or be in control. I believe that's when it becomes an intimidating issue and a problem. In general, I don't think that men would have a problem being with successful and strong, independent women. I think they would feel proud about that. However, like I said, I do believe the only time that they would feel it is when it becomes an issue in the relationship.
My second guest today is Ms. Kash Kapoor, visa consultant, art blogger, and entrepreneur. So playing off of what Darlene said, do you feel that in your culture, marriage has many facets? And what do you think marriage will look like for millennials in the 21st century, where women are taking on more dominant roles?
Thanks for the question, Natasha, and thanks for having me here. I think marriages today have changed, or let's say the meaning of marriage today has changed by leaps and bounds as compared to what marriage was back, in our parents' days or their generation. Today, marriage is about two equals. Like my friend Darlene, she just mentioned about, men are no more providers and women are just not expected to stay home, take care of kids. I think even men today, they look for women who are ambitious, career-oriented, financially independent. Speaking in my culture, Indians, or even any other culture today, majority of the population, or let's say the youth, is super qualified. Everybody has a master's degree, which is in 70s or 60s, it would be like a bachelor would be a big deal, but today everybody has like an MBA. So everybody has their professional, they have their career going on, and even men, I think, they want women to bring something substantial to the table when they get married. And I think also the concept of arranged marriages that used to be there back in the day, we don't have that anymore in our culture. It's almost on the verge of extinction, like almost. Anyways, I think one of the main factors today in marriages is financial independence. Men want women to be financially independent. Women themselves want themselves to be financially independent. Although they are expected to take care of kids and have their feminine side, but then at the same time, like I said, they need to get something very substantial to the table. They should be driven. They should have their own professional life going on. So I think yes, marriage is about equals, and women are like women in a man's world. Women are not supposed to be dominating as such, but if a man is qualified and a woman is equally qualified, then it's like a two-way street. That's when the question is like, who has the power, or who has the control, or who wears the pants, because in today's world both of them are qualified, both of them are financially earning. So I think that's where there's a thin line. And again, I'm gonna repeat that marriage has changed by leaps and bounds. Women and men are pretty much equal in every aspect of life today.